Hello everybody and welcome back to The Sit Down. So pleased to have you join me today as we talk about the news that's just broken. Really exciting news as well, because it kind of gives us, the boxing fans, a little bit of insight into Usyk's plans for the remaining fights of his career as he closes down what can only be described as a absolutely illustrious, astonishing, accomplished career. And he's done something that no other boxer has done. He's going to go down in history as one of the greatest of all times, in terms of what he's accomplished. He's literally completed boxing. You know, he was undisputed cruiserweight champion, went up to heavyweight, became the first undisputed heavyweight champion in decades, did that twice over. So he's 3-time undisputed. And the guy against all odds, right? And this is the other thing to bear in mind. When he went up to heavyweight, it was against all odds. He was very much a cruiser. Even in his second fight against Derek Chisora, Chisora put him to work, and people were kind of questioning him at that time. And if you guys all remember, every single heavyweight fight, not every single, but the biggest names in the heavyweight division that he's faced, every time there's been a question mark over whether he can achieve it. And none of those stand out more to me than when he first fought Tyson Fury, because of the size disparity between it. It was literally like a David and Goliath situation. And I remember so many friends, so many people were saying, what's the saying? Something like a good big man beats a small big man, a small good man. I don't know, something along these lines. Essentially, I'm not very good with sayings, but essentially saying something along the lines of, they're both really good, and because Tyson Fury's bigger and he has that advantage over him, he's sure to, or he's most likely to win. And as we saw in the first and second fight, Usyk very clearly won those, and he overcame all the doubters. He overcame all those challenges. Then again, when he had the first fight with Daniel Dubois, there was some controversy around, the low blow or not low blow, however you perceive it in your mind. He fought him again in the second fight and absolutely put a number on him. So all of that to say, Usyk has done insane things for the sport. And what a time to be alive. What a time to be a boxing fan, because we got to see him at his absolute best. Now, he's come out today and he said what his plans are for the remaining 3 fights of his career. So he's classified, it's going to be 3 fights. And the first of those is going to be the one that, no one really wants to see. Let's be honest, Rico Verhoeven. And that's going to be in Egypt. The guy's a kickboxer. He's had 1 boxing fight. And, although, good kickboxer and all of that, we've seen what happens in these crossover, when these combat artists cross over into different sports. Boxing is not his thing, and he's going in there against arguably, the absolute best. So it's interesting. And the fact that that's going to be sanctioned by the WBC, I've literally spoken to death about the subject. So I'm just going to breeze past that one. But after that, he has said that he would like to face the winner of Wardley v. Dubois. Okay, so I get it. I understand that. And I think fair enough, actually, on that one. What I would love to happen in that fight, and kind of what the heart tells me is going to happen, is that Wardley's going to win. Well, this is all heart, actually. Wardley's going to win, and then Usyk and Wardley get to fight each other, and hopefully, if he's not had to relinquish any of the belts because of his decision to fight Rico Verhoeven, then it'll be for another undisputed championship, because that would be something for the history books. Just so incredible to see. And I think also really interesting fight. I would love to see Fabio Wardley in there with him. Would I be interested in watching him fight Daniel Dubois for the 3rd time? No, I wouldn't be. I don't know about you guys. Would you be? It feels to me that win against him was so... it was a real full stop on that question. And it turned that question mark into an exclamation point in my mind. And so I wouldn't really be interested in seeing that fight again, but I understand why he wants to face the winner of that. And it gives them a greater incentive also. So that's the second fight that he's mapped out. The third one And this one, I just can't get behind. I really can't. So he has now said that he would like to face his old friend Greedy Belly, Tyson Fury, for the trilogy. And I just don't feel that... I don't feel that people would love to see that fight. I really don't. I personally wouldn't like to see the fight. And maybe I'm speaking from a biased perspective, but I think that, you know, I don't really understand it, if I'm honest with you. You know, I'm kind of trying to think about it in terms of the commercial value, in terms of does it make business sense? And I don't really understand it. So it was put to him, 2 other names were put to him in this interview. The first of those being Moses Atalma. And he said something along the lines of, don't quote me on this, it's not verbatim, but he said something along the lines of he doesn't want to fight Atalma. Atalma's too young, he's too fresh, and he doesn't want to like beat him and potentially put a dampener on, you know, his career trajectory. Interesting. I said in my last video, and I stand by it, that I believe that if they fought each other as of today, Usyk would win that contest. Do I think the same thing would take place in a year from now? I couldn't tell you. It does depend on who and when and how many times Atalma fights next. Obviously, he's got Jermaine Franklin coming up on the 28th of March. That will be a good fight for him. Hopefully, he'll get some rounds under his belt. But the kid's good. Like, he's so good. He's got like the speed, he's got the power, he's got the prowess, he's got the timing, you know. He's got a lot of fantastic attributes that, should they develop well and further over the next course of however many months, I think that could be quite a test for both boxers. And I think a fight that people would absolutely love to see. The other name that was put to him, and this one surprised me a little bit. His response surprised me a little bit. So the other name that was put to him is Kabayel. Now, Kabayel is the mandatory, or going to be the mandatory, for the WBC. And given that the fact that the WBC, I know I said I wouldn't talk about it, but here we are. Given the fact that the WBC has sanctioned the fight with Verhoeven, so that the belt might be on the line for it. It kind of makes sense to me that shouldn't you face the person who is the mandatory? But anyway, when it was asked of him whether he would face Kabayel, he sort of glazed past that question. And then when repeated, he sort of made some reference to, you know, taking that question and putting it to the team, and the team finding out or figuring out together whether that's viable. Now, yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's quite strange because I feel like, yeah, the next fight with Verhoeven, nobody cares. He even said like it's a bit of a, well, he didn't use his words, but he kind of inferred that it's a bit of a whatever fight. He knows it, we know it, we all know it. Don't know why you're doing it, but cool, man, you've done it. The next 2 fights, you know, potentially Fabio Wardley, I would be interested to see that. Daniel Dubois trilogy, not interested. Tyson Fury, I'll watch it. I'll watch it with intrigue, but I wouldn't, that's not a pick. That's not someone I would pick for him. So the names that in my mind I would like to see him face is Moses Atalma and Kabayel. And it's interesting that he isn't looking to face those guys. It feels to me as though he just wants the next few fights of his career to be predictable. In some way predictable, right? Like in some way predictable, or not unpredictable, and not potentially, you know, wild cards as he closes off his career. You know, that's the sense I'm getting from it. But I'm really intrigued to know what you guys think, because yeah, it's quite big news. So let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think of his opinion and what you think of his map and his plan for the remainder of his career. Whether you think, or you would want to see the Atalma and Kabayel fights. Yeah, let me know. In the meantime, don't forget to do all the good stuff. Comment, like, share, subscribe. We're really close to 1,000 subscribers now, so if you could hit that button, I'd be ever so grateful. And once again, thank you so much for joining me on The Sit Down, and we'll catch you next time.